In my life, I can say that I've never had a reason actually to smile. One, I was born, while I was still young, my father parted ways with my mother. And now, my stepmother, we are not actually in terms because, I'm a lawyer. And where I come from, these things of polygamous things are taken seriously, and there's a lot of enmity and there's a lot of animosity. And now if my stepmother hates my mother, she will hate my mother and also her kids. And as a result, I did not get a conducive environment for offering me a background to study. I'm Kevin Sakwa. I was born in Kakamega County. I'm 27 years. Actually, I spent 8 years in high school, owing to the fact that I was financially constrained. So I would go to some schools, but then due to financial constraints and my parents were not in that position to support me educationally, they could not. And owing to the fact that my parents had separated, I had actually so many challenges towards the same. You can understand in such like a setting, things may not be the way you're expecting them to be. But all in all, I was getting my inner motivation to pursue my education until I did my KCSE in 2016 and merited to university and joined Chuka University, where I'm currently a student. I'm just waiting to wind up my studies because I've concluded my third year and I'm here to do my fourth year. Actually, there have been so many narratives as to why I'm not this way, because in our family, when people saw that I was born this way, they were scared. And even my mother was not readily accepted in our family. So they were scared, but then there were some complications that my mother was operated while I was still an embryo fetus there. But then when I came out, this is how I was born. Owing to the fact that no one of my kind was in my locality, and even in most places that I work, the level of acceptability is very low. Very few of them will want to play with you because one, they are scared with you. Two, you are looking like they are a form of entertainment because they want to see how you are walking and just look at you. They want to sympathize with you. Some of them don't want to get associated with you. So their level of acceptability, both in primary school, in high school, and even currently, maybe adults, their level of acceptability is high, but while I was in primary and in high school, being accepted was a very, very difficult task. I was in a day school and I was commuting all along. By then I was not walking on crutches because I had no one to buy me crutches. I was walking with a stick and it was very, very much hectic. You could get your hands are tired, even your fingers, they are getting folded. Even you can see some of them, they are not just actual straight. Come on, it is bending this side. But then all along, I just went through it. In my life, I can say that I've never had a reason actually to smile. One, I was born, while I was still young, my father parted ways with my mother. And now, my stepmother, we are not actually in terms because, I'm a lawyer. And where I come from, these things of polygamous things are taken seriously, and there's a lot of enmity and there's a lot of animosity. And now if my stepmother hates my mother, she will hate my mother and also her kids. And as a result, I did not get a conducive environment for offering me a background to study. That's the challenge number one. Challenge number two, while I was going to school, my fellow students could not readily accept me. So you'll see that now my primary education was hampered with challenges, but all along I scored 390 out of 500. Now when it comes to high school, having scored all that marks, I didn't get any possible avenue. I was still in Western. I could just move to this relative and that relative and that relative and that relative. But now, when you stay with one relative, you will discover that they don't want you to stay there, and you go to stay with another, you also discover that they don't wish you to stay with them. But now, you're just feeling for yourself. I go to some high school, some secondary school, I just beg with the principal, kindly accommodate me so that I can study. They are not willing because, they can see that maybe you are a form of temptation to them, or maybe you could have brought your parents to do that. Now you see the level of acceptability again becomes a challenge. Because what I had actually discovered for myself, I knew that one thing could take me somewhere. And the stepping stone to everything would actually be education. That is why I moved to that level. Now, again moving there, now after all that time, I came and discovered myself that there's nothing will redeem me apart from education. After that, actually could not look at how people are looking at me, because you'll see even right now when we go with you to some village somewhere, people will call each other, come and see how this one is working. Some people don't want to get associated with you, they think you are a bad omen, but you're just a human being like them. But now, what do? Just accept and behave like they are not seeing you. I always used to have that urge of playing football because I could see football in the television, I could see various matches being played, and I just wished that how can I also play. But since I had that urge, I could join teams of other people who are just able-bodied and then ask them if they can fix me somewhere. Unfortunately, some of them were not willing, some of them are willing, but then they could just give, some of them could just give me a benefit of doubt, or some of them could be my friends. After they have given me a benefit of doubt, since I could not run as fast as they are, what could I do? I could go to the post and I could dive, I could kick the ball far away, and they kept trusting me, and that's how I developed this football. Until recently, when I was about to conclude my education, someone asked me to play physically handicapped games for the secondary schools. Then I went to play. I played twice up to the national level, where I was advised to join the national team, the national Kenya amputee football team, where I joined in 2017, and we were able to do a few matches, both locally and internationally. And currently, I'm the captain Kenya amputee football team. Actually, I can say that my urge to join the team has made me have a reason at least to smile, owing to the fact that I had that passion, and now this was the opportunity to join these people who are like me. And now why could I not prove myself? I actually proved, and that is where we were able to get to places. We were recently in Tanzania to play the East and Central Africa Challenge, where we emerged as the second, despite a few challenges here, logistic challenges from the Ministry of Sports and all that, you understand. And owing to the fact that the Ministry of Sports, with persons with disabilities in the country, they have always brought us problems. Until you strike, they're not giving you allowances. And like the national team, the Harambee Stars, where they are seduced to go and take the allowances. You see, now that's the difference with us. But as persons living with disabilities, we don't get demotivated. We are still motivated because we love the game and we wish to exploit our talents, despite also university education. I am a winger. Currently, I play number 11 on the wing. I just oscillate like a pendulum on the wing. I can oscillate from number 3 to 11. Now, when things are worse, I can come back and offer reinforcement at the backyard. But now, when the things are okay, then I move in the head where I score goals because I'm competent enough to shoot. I'm physically strong, and then that is I use our numerical advantage also to punish that when it comes to running. I'm swift enough to run, and I'm sure if you gave me a challenge, we'd also sweat each other. But I love number 3 up to number 11 on the wing. The whole members of this team were really shocked when they first saw me playing this way. They are really shocked because they have never seen someone of me playing. They have never gotten that opportunity to say amputee football team, the national team playing. But now they were really shocked. They came close to me. After they had come close to me to see what I was doing, I would now attract them and tell them, instead of just looking at me, join me and play with me. And that's how we keep helping each other. They play. They also wish that, they tell me that when I fly, one day I should also actually fly with them. Because they are looking to me as their mentor or as their role model. In football, injuries are a normal thing. I have had some injury that made me on the wheelchair, but I was playing in the other football as a goalkeeper. When people have discovered that you are competent enough, football people will use draconian measures to come and eliminate you. So there's some guy who we just met, and he was on my leg, and I'm using only one leg. So that means I'm out. I was out for about 4 weeks. That is 1 month. I could not even walk. I love Zlatan Ibrahimovic. That man is just a hell of a man. Where he goes, he's dominant. Despite his age, despite having been in several teams, he's dominant. He recognizes himself like a lion. He says, I'm the best. If you say you are the best, and even when you are not the best, that best comes out of you. You get the point? Insofar as people would like to go for Messi and Cristiano, I would go for Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And I look at him as an icon to me. Personally, I'm that person who is having some inner motivation. When I see someone doing something, I'll ask myself, can I also do the same? And because, there's that inner urge that's just pushing you. I used to love football. I used to love rugby because, there are games that you are handling men. You are man on, man on. But now, since in rugby, I could not run swiftly on one leg, I could not have made it. Then I decided, let me just do football because I love it. And at the end of the day, at least where I am, or where I stay, you'll just get that I have the ball, and I play football. I love playing football, and as a result, that's why I not only play football just for fun. I know I cannot be paid, even the Ministry of Sport or even the country cannot pay us according to how we're playing, but that making an impact to someone outside there, both persons who are with disabilities and those who are not having disabilities, especially persons with disabilities. You'll see some of them, they want to stay down, they want to stay in their homes and sympathize with themselves. But sympathizing with yourself cannot at the end of the day help you. It's just upon you to have that inner motivation, get up and move ahead. That's when you now meet a few challenges, but challenges will be there to make them strong and not actually weaken them at any given point. If there are people who would like to sponsor persons with disabilities playing football, especially amputee football, I want to call out on any potential or prospective sponsor to come and support this game, because it is through amputee football that we shall be in a better position to solve so many other things. Some of these people are beggars in streets in Nairobi. Some of them don't have a better background, just like me. I'm homeless, but you cannot know. I'm smiling. Here in Juja, I'm hosted by just a friend who we talk and compare notes. But now you'll not see me crying, you'll not see me begging. But since I know at the end of my 4 years in campus, I can go somewhere in an office and camp there asking for a job, I get motivated. But I don't pay whoever is hosting me, and there's somewhere also, in some village somewhere, who is also suffering even more than I do. Being homeless is one thing that is motivating me actually. You know, the fact that I don't have where to go. I cannot say that I can go to Western where I was born, owing to the challenges that are there. But now, if I'm at this point, and maybe I'm able to reach you, are all of them able to reach you? That's why I would wish to hail on someone or any company, let it be Betika, let it be SportPesa, all those sport sponsoring companies, or any other person who would wish to sponsor the game, please come up and sponsor the game. We shall be very much happy for you, so that at least we can reduce the level at which we are having squatters, we're having homeless people and beggars in the streets.